Hello, 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 and welcome to the inaugural episode of Dual POV. In case you didn't notice, my wonderful co-host Austin and I read different books, but every once in a while we get some crossover, and that leads to a wonderful deep dive dissection discussion of what we are reading. So we want to start things off with the first book that we have both read in a timely manner. It is Project Hail Mary.
Yep. I love the way you put that, because we have read the same books before, but the caveat being we haven't read them in a timely fashion. You've read books in the past that I just read and all that sort of stuff. So like the way you put it, yeah, we're doing Project Hail Mary, and we've already talked about it a little bit on the main feed. But this is our opportunity to really dig into it, especially for a book that was so hyped.
Yeah. So obviously, talking about it, I'm pulling it up on Goodreads. And obviously, I have heard nothing but, ma'am.
This is a podcast,
sometimes,
ma'am.
Sometimes you get kids screaming, sometimes you get dogs barking. It is what it is. But, I pull it up on Goodreads to, start digging in and finding some information about it that we're going to get into and talk about. And I had heard about this book forever. It's one of those that just is now a part of book talk. It's the cornerstone, I feel like. And then I looked at some of the stats we're going to get into, and I was shocked. Genuinely, awestruck. Just what is going on.
Well, it's really interesting because, little look behind the curtain a little bit. We on the podcast figured out, okay, we're going to read this book basically together, not at the same time, not whatever, but we did kind of keep tabs back and forth. And the way that you fought to just finish this book is so rails against the hype and the rhetoric around this book. And it's just I was very shocked by that, because I still enjoyed the book, and so it was just very interesting that behind the scenes you were like, Austin, dog.
Yeah. So let's start with some stats, and then I want to really deep dive into my kind of journey through this whole book, because like you said, there were points where it was rough. It was really hard,
thought about DNFing this book.
Yeah. I was going to soft DNF it. I wasn't going to just hang it up for good. I was going to come back to it. But there was a lot of conversation for 2 or 3 days where I was like, I'm not going to finish this book right now. I'm going to go pick up something else, and I don't care. I was not into it. And for it to be a 5-star for so many people on across all rating styles, yours, mine, or otherwise, I can't imagine rating a book 5 stars that at any point in it I want to not finish.
Sure. Yeah.
So.
But let's get into the rating thing, because we both looked at this before we started recording, and holy cow.
Yeah. Okay, so out of 1 million, which, okay, while I'm doing this, can you look, what was the first book to get 1 million ratings on Goodreads? I'm curious.
$10 says it's the Bible.
Oh, that's fair. But Project Hail Mary has 1,043,684 ratings, which I haven't seen a book with more than 500,000 in a very long time. I think I've seen a couple 800,000s, but I don't know that I've ever seen a book with over 1 million ratings.
So, according to AI overview on Google, it is hard to pinpoint exactly the first book to hit 1 million reviews, but Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is consistently the top rated and most reviewed book. There are 226 books on Goodreads with over 1 million ratings.
There's only 200... What?
226 books with over 1 million.
And one of them is Project Hail Mary.
One of them is Project Hail Mary.
So, out of those million ratings, this book has a 4.50 star rating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sure does.
That's mind-boggling to me. For a book to even get above 4 stars across the board is, I mean, like, that's incredibly difficult for Goodreads. I mean, you and I have that discussion all the time that a 3.8 on Goodreads is a fantastic book.
Yeah, 100%.
A 4.5?
I don't mean to pull away from our topic, which is absolutely going to be Project Hail Mary and deep diving into it. This
Okay.
list of books that have over 1 million ratings is none of them are surprising because like Harry Potter and Sorcerer's Stone is number one, Hunger Games is number two, To Kill and Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone has 11 million.
What?
11,293,062 ratings. And it
Austin.
has a 4.47 average rating. That's insane.
What?
Uh-huh. Number two, The Hunger Games. 9,797,216. Average rating 4.35.
I mean, duh. This is my whole little shrine right there. But like, so you're telling me that almost, so 3 out of 200 that we've just glanced at have in the strong 4-star category.
Most of these are. So the
Why do you
one,
think
two,
that
three,
is?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not until the 16th book on the list, which I don't know what this is in order of, I'm going to be honest.
I mean, whatever.
The 16th book on the list is the first one to be sub 4, and it's The Great Gatsby, and it's 3.93 with over 5.8 million ratings. And so, and
Why
all
do you
of
think
these
that is?
books are books that were turned into movies or
Yep.
books that we read in high school.
And there's got to be some connection with that, right?
I
Like
think
you
so.
get it, you get an influx of people rating it on Goodreads who may have never rated anything ever just because it's a movie or something, or because they had to do it in high school.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say that
There's got to be
theory,
some correlation to that.
absolutely. Like To Kill a Mockingbird is on here. So
Which, I
like
mean, Great Gatsby, To Kill a Mockingbird, both those you read in high school.
uh, the first one that I don't recognize is The Kite Runner.
Oh, I think that was a school book after we graduated.
Okay.
That became a school book, if I remember right.
Okay.
You should
Gotcha.
send me that link. I'm super, super
Okay.
intrigued.
Can do
I'll
that
look
right
at
now.
that when we get. I'll look at that when we get done with this.
This could be a whole nother segment that we
Oh,
could
absolutely.
just dive into. Um, okay, but anyway, so with that being said, very popular, over a
Yeah.
million reviews, 4.5 stars, which, for all intents and purposes, says it is well loved
Yep.
by just about everybody. In
Yep.
fact, diving a little bit deeper into it, I'm looking at community reviews, and less than
This
one.
is a reread book.
Oh yeah, lots of people are gonna are.
Lots of people are like, I'm on my fourth or fifth reread, and I love it just as much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for anybody that does not know what Project Hammer is,
Thank you.
synopsis
Yes. Let's
synopsis on the
refocus.
back of the book. Yep, synopsis on the back of the book. A lone astronaut, an impossible mission, and an ally he never imagined. Ryland Grace is the sole survivor on a desperate last chance mission, and if he fails, humanity and Earth itself will perish. Except that right now, he doesn't know that. He can't even remember his own name, let alone the nature of his assignment or how to complete it. All he knows is that he's been asleep for a very long time, and he's just been awakened to find himself millions of miles from home, with nothing but 2 corpses for company. His crewmates dead, his memories fuzzily returning, Ryland realizes that an impossible task now confronts him. Hurling through space on this tiny ship, he must puzzle out an impossible scientific mystery and conquer an extinction-level threat to our species. And with the clock ticking down and the nearest human being light years away, he's got to do it all alone. Or does he? Project Hail Mary is a tale of discovery, speculation, and survival to rival The Martian while taking us to places we've never dreamed of going.
Wild that in it he like, I don't know who writes the summary on the back, but the fact that he references his own book that is almost the exact same book, wild.
I also want to put like a huge disclaimer that these dual POV episodes obviously will be spoiler filled.
Yeah,
We cannot
absolutely.
deep dive a book without getting into spoilers. I should have started with that, but the nature of these means that they will be spoiled.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So, but yeah, no, it is really funny that in his own synopsis he puts one of his other books.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, that, and right off the bat, I want, okay, I don't know who should start, because you have so much
Yeah.
that you're going to go into. You have so many emotions and so many feelings about it. I don't have as, like, I don't have as strong of, like, dislike or whatever. I really enjoyed the book. I gave it 4.5 stars.
I still haven't rated it, so I think you should go first.
Okay. So I give 4.5 stars, rounded up to 5 on Goodreads, because that's what I do. But so, with that being said, the book itself is, I think, very entertaining in terms of the science that goes into it. I think our main character is really funny and is a
Yep.
very good narrator of the story.
Yes.
I think that that gosh dang it, I forgot the spider's name.
Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky. I think Rocky is a phenomenal sidekick character.
Yes.
I think that all of the flashbacks are really interesting and add another
Yep.
layer. And I think the first, like, 100 pages of this book are really, really good.
Yeah.
And then we meet Rocky. And it's very Deus Ex Machina of, like, oh, randomly, the thing that I need to fix all the problems has shown up.
Yeah.
And I get it. The logic is there of, like, oh, if astrophage is impacting Earth and its sun, obviously it would impact other stars as well. So,
And I do really like that they take the time to explain that. So for everything that gets a little too convenient, they do explain why it's convenient, which a lot of books would just be like, we expect you to just be okay with it being convenient.
Yeah.
Like they use those flashback chapters really well to flashback and explain why it is so convenient, which I do appreciate.
yeah, absolutely. And it's the things that I bumped into that I didn't enjoy, because overall really enjoyed the book. I read it. I didn't listen to the audiobook, but lots of people say the audiobook is phenomenal.
Audiobook is phenomenal. So the audiobook saved it 100% for me. 1000% for me the audiobook saved it. It's the same narrator as the Harry Potter series, which is another one that
Oh,
is
fuck.
which is
That's
another
so
one which is
good.
notoriously like everybody says to listen to the audiobooks for Harry Potter as well.
Uh-huh.
Like it's the same narrator. I went and looked because I was like, why is he so good? And then I was like, what else has he done? I will read it all. And then right away, you have 6 books in your library. I'm like, what? Harry Potter.
Nice. I absolutely that makes me want to go back and listen to it, because I love the Harry Potter audiobooks. They're so
Yep.
so good. But with that being said, the things that I bumped into was the story I was promised via TikTok, and like how people described it was man lost in space, has no memories, has to figure out how to save the world.
Mm-hmm.
And that is technically correct.
Yep.
But very quickly it is no longer just him. It is
Yep.
it is very quickly another person that happens to have exactly complementary skills to his.
Yep.
And that kinda sucks. Like,
Yep.
that the problem of communicating is a very good problem. Is a very interesting problem. But it would also be an interesting problem if Rocky was a scientist.
Yeah.
Like, what if it was 2 scientists talking back and forth? Then we have a whole nother problem, and a much more interesting problem, in my opinion. And so
Oh, yeah.
so I really bumped into that of, like, this is not the book that I was promised. I still enjoyed
Yep.
it, but this is not the book I was promised. And then the second thing I bumped into a lot was that the characters in the flashbacks,
Hmm.
I just didn't vibe with. Like,
Oh, I loved them. I
I,
actually, that's one of the weird things. Is I loved all of them. I loved every character we met.
really, like, I
Yep.
like the main gal who's pushing things forward. She's
Yeah.
great and makes tons of sense. The Russian guy, super funny.
Loved him. Yep.
Love him. The scientists that banged all the time, like the ones that ended up blowing up the place.
Hmm.
I didn't get it. I did not vibe with them, and it's
I think it was showing. I think it was a precursor showing how careless they were.
oh, that's interesting.
It was foreshadowing of how careless they were.
Oh, that's a very interesting way of looking at it. I don't know. Like, yeah, I get that. I can totally see where you're coming from with that. But the Russian guy was also careless. Like, he was, or, like, or the Russian gal, could have been the careless one. Like, I don't think that they're,
And to be fair, she also died though.
huh?
To be fair, she also died though. Granted, she died in the coma for other reasons, but like,
Right.
regardless, I mean, she also died.
That's true. I don't know. I like that answer. I think that ties it that thematically makes a lot of sense. That there, but it was so backwards to who the male scientist was. DeBus? What's his name? Can't remember.
Nope, don't remember.
Okay, all right. But it was so backwards because his character was very thorough and very intelligent, and everything was measured.
Oh wait,
And
the main one,
the first scientist, the one
the main guy.
that dies,
Oh, no, the Chinese one,
the Chinese
right?
one. No, the Chinese guy is the commander of the mission, and he dies in the
Oh,
pipe.
you're the main guy, Grace,
No, the first
the
scientist
first
the
scientist.
first scientist that was supposed to go on the mission. He and the second scientist had a very sexual relationship.
Oh, yes.
And the first scientist, whatever his name was, his whole thing was he had everything very measured and he understood everything and all that sort of stuff. And so thinking about him in that way, just and even so much as saying, like, there were times where he would ask his partner and go, would you like to go have sexual relations in this room? Like,
Yeah.
it's funny, but like it's not his character to be careless.
Yeah.
Even in the way that he wants to die is very, it's measured, it's figured out, and so I'm no longer vibing with the, like, it shows that they were careless and that's why they exploded. I just don't like him as a character.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I understand not liking those characters very well, but I do think they add a level, like a necessary level of really understanding why he was there by himself, because they also were the ones to really look up to Grace as that kind of second figure to the main chick. And I think if you don't have enough characters beneath him, the reason he's there in the first place that kind of comes out at the end really falls flat.
I get that. That makes sense. It's just, man, I can't figure out how to verbalize, because the thing is if I have a problem with something, I want to give a way to make it better, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I'm struggling with this, is just like I bumped up against these characters and the fact that it's the end of the fucking world.
Yeah.
And
My
we're
thing is I
okay
didn't like
with,
that we didn't meet them earlier.
I'm with you on
Like,
that.
that's I think my thing with them is, why did it, like, it was a long time into this book before we even knew who the crew was.
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Really? You bumped into that?
Yeah.
Well, because he didn't know who the crew was.
I mean, yes, but like he finds out that these two people were part of his crew and whatever. And like I know that we're learning things as he's learning things, but I still feel like even in the process, the whole like sake of convenience kind of thing, where like I just don't know why they hadn't picked a crew up until so close to that launch, it felt like. Like I think
Mm.
that was part of my issue with them was simply that like it felt like we didn't know who they were. Like he had already come to peace with his two crew members completely dying on this long mission. A lot of shit happens, and then we meet the original crew.
Mm.
Why? I would have
Interesting.
liked to meet them when he's mourning for them, so you learn who they are as he's mourning them. I
But
think would have
that,
been a lot
but
more
but that's the thing. He couldn't mourn for them because he didn't know them. Like
true.
so that kind of takes that part, and when he finally, there is a moment, it doesn't it doesn't labor on this moment, but there is a moment where he remembers who they are and he lays in his pod and cries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It doesn't labor on that moment, and it doesn't necessarily explain who the crew members were. We get more of that later on, but there is a
I
moment.
think that's the thing is I think that's just the divide from it. Is from that moment where he remembers and he mourns for them in the pod up until we actually go through the process of finding them is
Mhm.
so long between it that I think that's why I couldn't gel with the characters once we did get to know them.
You know, it's interesting. I think that something. I'm curious if you vibe with this statement. Did it feel like the book started a lot? Like the beginning of a book was constant.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
It started too much and then it also capped frequently. I was
Yeah.
waiting for it to get to the next level so many times. I
Yes.
was constantly like, oh, this thing's gonna break, and then what are they gonna do? And then it just works, and it was fine. And I was like, well, that's not
Yeah.
that. No, and yeah, no, it felt like it constantly was starting. It was starting, and then it would plateau.
Yes, and I totally understand that feeling. And the only time that a thing that Rocky makes doesn't work is when the astrophage is able to eat through the
And yeah,
special.
it's not that it didn't work. It's that Grace fucked up.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And so the fact that nothing goes wrong.
No,
Like it's a rough situation,
yeah,
but
and even then,
nothing
I
goes
wouldn't even
wrong.
consider it like it was slightly bumpy. They had one moment where they couldn't get the ship out of the other
Yeah.
planet, but
Hmm.
other than that, it wasn't even rough. It was
Yeah.
slightly
And it
bumpy.
was
It was a
hard.
slightly bumpy, hard experience that led up to a decision that was way too small for me.
Ooh, interesting. Explain that.
I have beef with the ending of this book a lot.
Really? Okay.
Yes. So, okay. Yeah, so getting into kind of my thoughts on this a little bit. I have not rated this book because I am torn between thinking that it is written well enough and enjoying enough of it and the audiobook that I think it warrants a 4 star from me,
Okay.
while my personal enjoyment of it and the ending and that feeling of it plateauing and never really getting to that next level, I want to give it a 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm at with this book. Really hard. Where and I don't want to do it to, I'm not doing a 3.5 on this. I want to give it is so either a full 3 or a full 4 star book for me
Mm-hmm.
because just like you said, I loved all the characters, you know, and even though I understand your point of really rubbing up against like the scientists and like some of the crew members and stuff, I see their purpose in things.
Mm-hmm.
Rocky, fantastic sidekick, love
Love him.
it.
Yeah.
I do, even though I did rub up against the convenience of everything. I really appreciated the fact that they explained it to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think it was a very kind of fourth wall break feeling of like, hey, we know it's convenient, so we're going to tell you why it's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
And I really appreciated that. I think Grace and the way this book is written is hilarious. It's very witty. It's very well paced. The audiobook takes it to an entirely different level because like I think you and I have kind of discussed, like in the audiobook, when he is reading his own thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
it is in a way that you and I speak, where he's reading his inside thoughts. It's that kind of quicker pace because he's like, you can tell he thinks things through fast because he's a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it's like actual, like just dial, it's when it's like descriptions and things that are happening in the world, it's a lot more like descriptive pace. Like there are three very distinct cadences through this. And listening to the audiobook, you also get Rocky's song
Oh, it's
in
an
it.
actual song.
And Rocky has his own notes and everything.
Mm-hmm.
They're chords that play. And then he has his own voice once Grace starts to translate it.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that part of it is also annoying. You cannot tell me in the, what, maybe 2 years that this book unfolds over, that he learned a language that is entirely made of chords, because he says pretty early on that he no longer uses the translation device, that he has learned it. That's really, really interesting to me.
Wow. Okay. I didn't bump into that, and the reason why is because number one, it's the only person he's talking to. Like the
Fair.
that's it.
Talk about
Number,
immersive.
yeah. Number two, the he wrote a program that basically translates for him on the computer. So like it's like it
Yes.
hears the chord and then it says the word. And
Yes.
so if you're doing that enough and you're speaking simple enough,
But they
it's like
weren't. They were having complex conversations about their own bodies and things back and forth. They did not do any of this with just yes, no answers.
but they did do with toddler language. They did it
To
with
start.
they
To
started
start.
with like and I think that
Because then when Rocky dies or whatever you want to call it,
yeah,
gets severely injured and whatever,
yeah.
it goes into the fact that Grace has all of this knowledge of the inner workings of his body because him and Rocky talked about how his body works and like his cardiovascular system and all these words that I'm like, toddlers can't, they don't, your rudimentary English does not tell you what that is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair that is absolutely fair. Yeah, that's a
So
fair
like,
thing to bump up against with.
so that kind of again, it was one of those necessary understandable things that like you could not have gotten out of the situation if you didn't have it. It's like cool.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that just really got me is, like you said, on TikTok, I was promised guy is alone, guy saves Earth. Cool. In the back of this book, I was promised Earth will perish. Earth is in trouble. This is a sci-fi book about adventure, guy being alone in space to save Earth. And then he wakes up and he says, okay, I'm dying here. I die in the Project Hail Mary, but I am going to save my kids in my school and I'm going to save Earth. And it is supposed to be adventure book. We get to the end of the book and it's happy fun friend time.
Hold on. Are you really going to bump up against the fact that he survives?
No, I'm bumping up against the fact that he goes to chill with one alien that he can't talk to. That he's going to go live in a bubble for the rest of his life. That bothers me immensely.
Why?
Because he's so, like, he had the opportunity to go back to Earth to reunite with his kids, which was literally the thing that, like, started this whole mission for him, was so that he could go back to his kids. And he would talk to the entire time about how his kids would be adults and they would have gone through things, but that he, like, they would make it through and they would be okay and he'd get to see them and, like, whatever, and then the chance that he would get to go back to them, and, like, that's such a prevalent thing that comes up so many times. And then they go part ways and it's hard, and so he's like, I mean, like, and I get the point that, like, like, I don't know how I would have felt if Rocky hadn't been able to save his planet too. Once he learned that the astrophage, like, soaks through. I do agree that, like, you had to do something to save Rocky too. And I do get that he wouldn't have made the trip back. But there's something that I really, I can't, it's not even grinding up against it, man. It's like, I'm like polar opposite magnet here with, like, I can't, the ending bothers me so much that he just went and lived in a bubble for the rest of his life and ate his own meat, which is fucking weird.
Whoa. That's wild.
Yeah, no, that really, really bothers me.
Because I didn't love the ending. I'm gonna be honest. I think the ending is another super convenient. It's the ultimate convenience in a story about convenient things happening.
Yeah.
Like that, I'm with you. It's like, oh great, he goes and lives with Rocky. He has his own students. It's very nice. It's yay, great. There's Earth out there. There's life outside of Earth. So why wouldn't he be able to live in that? Right? Makes sense. But it's so interesting that you like because the conversation at the end of the book is my wants versus the needs of a friend, and him sacrificing his want to be home is very noble.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's choosing the betterment of someone else while still saving his planet, but now he just doesn't get to visit that planet that he saved.
And I get that, but it also, I think the other thing is like it wasn't presented as noble. I think that's my problem. Is to me it didn't feel presented as noble. It felt presented as this bestie friend time, like it wasn't presented in like
Hang on, I
Rocky
gotta
and
grab
Rocky's.
this book. I gotta try to find where this is. Hang on. I'm gonna hold the phone. Going to the way back.
Yep.
Okay. So, made the note to Amoeba Farm. Seventh floor. No blip from blip A. Derelict out there. Ooh, hang on one second. Okay. So chapter 29 is when he goes back to save Rocky.
Okay, page 454. I can go home. I really can. I can return and spend the rest of my life a hero. Statues, parades, etc. And I'll be in a new world order where all energy problems are solved. Cheap, easy, renewable energy everywhere thanks to astrophage. I can track down Strat and tell her to shove it. But then Rocky dies. And more important, Rocky's people die. Billions of them. I'm this close. I just need to survive 4 years. And yeah, I'll be eating nasty coma slurry, but I'll be alive. And then on the next page... No, and then further down he goes... My annoying logical mind points out the other option. Launch the Beatles, all 4 of them, each with their own Amoeba mini farm and USB stick full of data and findings. Earth scientists will take it from there. And then turn the Hail Mary around, find Rocky, and take him home to Arid. One problem, it means I die. And then the next time, on the next page, he says, all I see when I close my eyes is Rocky's dumb carapace and his little arms always fidgeting with something. It's been 6 weeks since I've made my decision. It wasn't easy, but I'm sticking with it. I have the spin drives off for my daily ritual, and I bring up the Petrovoscope to look out into space and see nothing at all. Sorry, Rocky. Like, the way he speaks about it in its entirety is always just Rocky. I mean, like, there's the one moment where he says, and more importantly, Rocky's people die, billions of them. But I just don't find a place where he sits there and he goes, it just feels so friendly. I have to go save my friend. I don't feel the nobility of it.
Well, what's more noble than laying one's life down for their friend?
Saving the entire Earth. And how do you know that those little rocket ships were going to make it?
That!
But he doesn't know at the time that those beetles will make it home, because he even has the discussion how he was going to go drop it off at Venus himself. Yeah,
I
go run by Venus, drop off some, and then double up and back home.
I don't I that's our sticking point between you and I, is that he does know that it will work. You want to know why he knows it's going to work? Because everything else worked the entire fucking time. He knows that those are going to work because nothing has failed. There is not a doubt in his mind that he can save Earth without him going back to Earth. And so he
I don't know, man. If I had a algae that was not super stable, I don't know that I'd be trusting it in some little ship that it could adapt to. And how does he know it didn't like adapt and learn how to soak through whatever thing he sent it in? It already adapted before. And also, that's the other part too, is like that shit adapted way too freaking fast. Evolution does not work that fast.
it absolutely works that fast at that small of a level. Like
You think so?
100%. I mean, they domesticated dogs or domesticated foxes in a research way in a very quick time turnaround, right? Like, say 2 years they were able to domesticate. And that's not an exact number, but that study.
That's fair.
Every single biology class talks about it and how very quickly they figured out that the snouts need to be longer or shorter so that they're cuter and all that sort of stuff. Those are foxes. We're talking about things that live for a day,
Yeah.
that
Okay, that's fair.
reproduce in an hour.
That's fair.
So I am chill with that.
That's fair. Okay.
And I am also chill with the decision that he has to make is not between do I save Earth or do I save Arid. The question he has to answer is do I get to see Earth or do I die?
Which I do really like that he was able to. I'm confused on how they did it. Again, the convenience factor. I do really like that Rocky got to sit there and come to him and say, that
Earth
that soul is back to full strength. Yeah,
yeah,
I did really like that. That was
yeah,
good. If it didn't have that, then I would have been even more pissed.
yeah. That would
But I
have.
also don't know how they got that information so fast.
What do you mean? It's like we don't know what year it is because they switched to the Arid numbers,
Oh yeah, that's fair.
but it's
Yeah, I guess it could have been time. Well, it had to have been quite a while because he was 50 something. He talks about being like 50 something.
yeah. Hang on. I can tell you how old he is because this was chapter 29. This is chapter 30. So it is like 32 years later.
Yeah, okay.
Right around there. And so 30 years later is enough time for them to
Yeah,
notice that.
do a little
So,
jet space
yeah.
station things.
So at the end of the day, it's whether or not you like the choice that he has to make the choice of. Do you like that he is, and the choice is, does he save Earth or does he not? It is, does he go back to Earth or does he save his friend to get his friend back to his planet? And then it just
Right.
so happens they found a way that he could survive. Like
By eating himself, which is
by
gross,
eating himself all the time. Yeah. So
really
and
fucking weird.
well, it's weird.
But it's science. It's fine.
They're
And
freaking spiders, man.
he's
Rock
a
spiders.
they're Labrador spiders. That's the only way I got through that was thinking he was a dog, not a spider. So, because
That's
that
so,
would have gotten real weird for me real fast.
you're not into the whole rock spider thing.
No, he was a rock
It's so
dork.
funny that even in this, I don't know how much time we have left, but I know we gotta finish up soon.
Yeah.
But it is so funny to me that even in science fiction, there's the joke that everything goes back to crabs, that crab
Yeah.
people are actually the ultimate level of evolution. And what
Yeah.
is Rocky? He's a rock crab. That's what he
He's a rock
is.
crab.
It's
Especially
you
because he
can
eats from
call
his
him rock
under.
climber.
He eats from his underbelly like crabs
He
do.
eats with it like it's yeah. He's a crab. Crab is the
He's
ultimate
crab.
life form. It will survive beyond all of us.
I also loved him needing to sleep with everybody. And wanting to, like, he wanted to watch people sleep because they had to sleep
Yeah.
together so they don't die. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, you little baby.
Yeah.
He was cute. I do think this will be a 4-star. The more that I have sat on it, I do think it'll be a 4-star because I don't think the ending and the, like, convenience of it was enough to push it down to a 3.
Yeah.
I do think it'll end up being a 4-star. But the convenience of it laying up, like, teeing everything up to the ending, I think it was just the stagnation of it. It was the constant start to pause, expecting something bigger, and the real climax is I'm gonna go to Irid. Even that didn't feel overly, and I think that's why it didn't feel noble because it was so short.
It is very short. It's very much he
And I
makes a
think
decision and then he does it.
that's why, more than the actual dialogue or anything that was said. I think that's why is because it was so short and you didn't really sit with him while he was thinking about things. And I
Yep.
think that would have made it feel more noble and more like, do I go back and be a hero or do I go save my friend and his planet? Like,
Having a scene of him pacing back and forth,
yes.
kind of thing. That I could see that. I think that would absolutely help this feel a little more, because it does really feel like, oh, here are the facts. I simply must choose.
Yep.
And
And
he
then
does.
here we go, we're going back.
Yeah. And then
Like I wanted to see him like rummaging through some manual to see if there was a way that he could send Rocky information. You know, oh, he's not that far. Can I like use one of these to go send it? No, that's not going to work. There is no other way. I have to do this. Here is my chance. You know, like
it's the same problem that we've talked about through the entire book is that the problem isn't that big of a problem.
yeah.
It
But it
doesn't
is.
feel
It's the Earth and it's arid and it's these planets.
right.
But
But it doesn't feel
like
that big.
it doesn't feel that big.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I still really enjoyed it, and it still has
Yes.
a lot of really good themes. And I do want to say, if people have listened to this entire podcast, they're going to be like, man, they really hated this book.
Right?
But we didn't. We enjoyed
No.
the book. It is worth the 4.5-star rating, in my opinion.
Yes. I agree.
And but when a book is so hyped and is told to be that it is so great, the things that you rub up against are going to be so much louder.
Yes. And I think
And I think
that
yeah.
well said. Like that really wraps it up nicely. You know, I mean, I am stoked to see the movie. I am so excited now to go watch the movie. I honestly probably will revisit this. You know, I can see myself reading it again after the movie because I'll want to like re-dive into what was missed, you know.
I want to read
And
The
I can see
Martian.
myself what?
I want to read The Martian.
Yes, I want to read Granted, it's not the same narrator, which that kind of bothers me. But I'm interested to go back and read The Martian now. And like, I did thoroughly enjoy this. And like, the audiobook will probably be one of my now most recommended audiobooks.
Yeah.
Like, we do our segment where we recommend books to people. I will recommend this to a lot of people. So to put a nice little bow on it, like you said, I mean, like, it really is that when you have a book that is supposed to be this top tier, absolutely god tier, 6-star, phenomenal, 4.5 on Goodreads, over 1 million reviews, when you grind up against something, it's gonna be tougher. It's gonna be louder, it's gonna be bigger, and it's gonna hit harder.
Yeah. Yep, 100%. And with that, I think we've torn this book apart about as much as we can.
Absolutely, cover to cover. So, make sure you let us know down in the comments what book you want us to read. I mean, like, We're going to keep doing these. We're going to for sure do it with Onyx Storm. That's going to happen. Very excited about that. But if you have a book that you just need to see us dissect, let us know. Reach out and we will be watching them. Otherwise, we're going to pick a few ourselves too. And, you know, as Austin says, keep on reading.